ye were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led. Why was Paul discussing dumb idols when he was talking about ignorance of spiritual gifts? He's trying to give them a balance that even though there are spiritual gifts, there are also idols who can manifest certain gifts. So he's trying to lay a balance. There are spiritual gifts and there are demonic gifts. And all of them may function as if it's the same. Now let me explain something to you. Have you ever seen a fake 300 naira note? But have you ever seen a fake 1000 naira note? Yes. Why is there a fake 1000 naira note? The only reason is because there is a genuine 1000 naira note. In other words, anytime you see a fake is an indication that the real is nearby. But the real may be scarce, or it may be hard to come by. That is why people create fake things. So we need to understand. Now, wherefore I give you to understand that no man speaking by the Spirit of God calleth Jesus accursed, and that no man can say that Jesus is Lord but by the Holy Spirit. Now I need you to understand this passage very well. This is the foundation that Paul was laying before he started to discuss spiritual gifts. And if we do not follow him the way he was going, we are likely going to miss the message. And he was telling them that you should understand that nobody who is speaking by the Spirit of God will say Jesus is accursed. Now he's writing this letter to a church. Under normal circumstances, the church will not gather and then someone will say Jesus is cursed. Is it possible? Not in the church. So what is Paul trying to give us to understand? The understanding is in passage is the fact that it's probably coming through speaking in tongues. Now, if someone is speaking in tongues in this place and there is no interpreter, he is at liberty to say whatever he wants to say, and everybody will be saying what? Amen. That is to say, in the church at Corinth, there were some people who were speaking in tongues, but in the speaking in tongues, by the revelation and interpretation of the tongues, Paul got to know that they were cursing Jesus Christ. It is possible that someone can be speaking in tongues, but in that tongues, he is uttering mysteries, but the mysteries are not the mysteries of God, but they are mysteries of the devil. Therefore, Paul was saying, let me tell you something. No one speaking by the Spirit of God will say Jesus is what? Accursed. That means the spirit that was in operation was not the Spirit of God. It is the spirit of the devil. But operating in the church of Corinth. That's what, people of God, when you look at this verse, you need to be careful. That is to say, it is not every time that you hear someone speaking in tongues that you conclude that that person is speaking from the word, the Spirit of God. Very, very important. Someone was making a statement that got my attention. He said, Christians in Nigeria can pray in tongues, but they lie in English. It's common, isn't it? Before, when speaking in tongues came, when people want to show the degree of spirituality, they will say the person is born again, spirit filled, and what? And tongue talking. That is to say you are jinjing. But now nobody uses that again, because we realize that people can come to church and blast tongues. I know a man and his girlfriend will stay in the neighborhood, so I know when we go to the same church, they will go to church, hold hands like that. They will blast the level of tongues you see them blasting. When they finish, they go to their room and fornicate. And today we have tongue-talking Christians who, after speaking in tongues, they go outside there and inflate contracts. After speaking in tongues, they go out there and fight. After speaking in tongues, they go out there and there is no difference between them and what? Those who do not speak in tongues. Sometimes those who do not speak in tongues are even what? Better Christians. Brethren, let me tell you something. The Holy Spirit is the Holy Spirit. Anytime someone is speaking in tongues and his life is contrary to the spirit of holiness, it is not the tongues that is coming from God. Take it from me. So after Paul spoke about dumb idols, he now narrowed on the issue of people who are speaking in tongues and they say Jesus is accursed. He said that is not the gift of the Holy Spirit.